All right. Are we live? Let me know in the chat, and that would be great. I'm super excited to be here today, and I'm here specifically to share a message for people who may be going through a difficult time, or maybe there's been a lifetime of questions that you've had. And I just want to make sure I'm not copying here. Hold on a second. Let me turn off the speakers here. And I'm here specifically to. Okay, I'm back. So it feels good to be live again, but there is a lot of technical stuff that I had to figure out. But I'm here today to talk about, to talk to you, but to talk to you through the lens of my new book that I've written called The Universe is You, or You Are the Universe, and How Your Mind Creates the World Around You. So this is all centering around, by the way, it's great to see you all here. I have been asked not to chat too much with the chat, but I can't help myself. I love you guys. So I'm just going to say hi to who I see right now. I see Susan, I see Anne, I see Maria. This is great. I'm just going to say hello and make sure that we have everything functioning good here. There may be a delay in my video because it's been a minute since I have come to YouTube to share. And the reason why is because when I had the dream in Sedona that changed my life, I really hadn't processed it fully. And what happened was that, hi, and what happened was that I didn't realize how life altering this dream was going to be because I'd had other dreams before. And so now that I've processed the dream, I want to come to you to share what I've learned from the dream, and hopefully it can transform your life. So I spent the entire morning speaking to people who have emailed me because they read chapters 1 through 2, and they really liked it. Oh, okay, good. So just before I continue on, Newfie, Susan, Maria, can you guys hear me okay? And Anne? Can you hear me and see me okay? It's going to take a couple of streams in order for me to get the camera and all that rolling again. But like this morning, I woke up and I saw the circle here, and I thought, should I change it or should I just leave well enough alone? And through the dream, I've learned that instead of resisting problems or what we perceive as difficulties, and instead of swimming upstream, we should extract ourselves and be the observer. Oh, good. Oh, thanks. I wanted to wear something colorful, and I'll tell you why. Because in my dream, when Jesus showed me the universe, when he said, look in the mirror, and he said, what do you see? And I said, well, I just see planets, galaxies. This is what I'm trying to set up here, and all these different colors were there. So I think what I should do is ask you if you have any questions here to start, and then B, I actually want to respond to some of the comments that I received with regards to people reading chapter 1 and 2 of You Are the Universe. So let's see how I could put this. A lot of people go through things. I'm going to give one example without naming names. This person wanted to have a child in what they call their life. And so far, this hasn't been the case. And this has caused this person a great amount of suffering. And I want you to fill in the blank with your difficulty that you may or may not be having, or perhaps, let's say your difficulty that you're having in your life, whether it's your journey finding the truth, or whether it's a relationship, a person, a situation, a dream, or an unfulfilled dream or desire. Okay. Oh, thank you for letting me know that you loved the first few chapters. So this person emailed me and they said, after reading chapters 1 and particularly 2, I realized that this is just an experience. This is not my life. And that's the awakening I had to come to too. Even though I knew about reincarnation and, I didn't have any problem believing in reincarnation, I still didn't realize that this Sylvia and you, the person who you are, you're not the sum total right now of everything that you are. You're having one experience, and the next experience you have, which you could call a lifetime, may be completely different, that you have a different name, maybe you have a different gender, maybe you have a different life circumstance. However, it's all designed by us and for us. And here was the kicker. This is what two things that people, I think, feel uncomfortable about my book. And one is me equating myself and you as being creators. And two, that they feel that we don't create our circumstances. Because a lot of people, hi Crispy, a lot of people feel that the circumstances that they're living through cannot possibly be created by them. Not even possible. But in reality, it's not only created and designed by them, but for them to come to the awakening and to the creative point. Now, this whole experience, let's say the whole alpha and omega, the whole of who you are, it's to be a creator and to enjoy and to be in joy and to discover yourself and to create, now that you're awake, create the reality that you want. The second rub that I hear people say is, oh, the world today, and it's never been worse, and this is bad. Now, historically, that isn't true, because there have been horrible times. And also, universally, that's not true. It's a reflection of a belief system and an accumulation of core values and a conflict within oneself. Therefore, you're going to see the conflict outside of you. So I thought I would also mention that, is that the conflict that you see outside of you is equivalent to the conflict that exists unconsciously or consciously within yourself. And this also was tough. So let's get into some personal stuff. As soon as I had that dream, I was like on cloud 9. Literally, I couldn't believe that it happened to me. And I mean, I understood somewhat, but the whole mirror thing and imagination really hit me profoundly. So I thought, everything I see is me. So the characters that I create in the story of this experience are me. So unresolved or unfulfilled or strong desires and emotions, and you're creating an external world. It hit me hard, because then I started to think, am I alone in the universe? Is this just me? Like, it kind of scared me, to be honest with you, when I started to go deep down the rabbit hole of the meaning of that. But now that I've come through the other side of the of the rabbit hole, or the black hole, I realized that what is the difference between me being the creator of all the characters in my life, which gives me a lot of confidence now. I feel that you can't really feel rejection when you know that these are parts of yourself that are playing out in front of you. What is the difference between that and actually thinking that, oh, this is my husband, or this is my sister, or this is my child, or this is my uncle, whatever. What is the difference? None, ultimately. And then you get, so I had the conflict with the mother issue, which is a universal conflict. And, I really, it was intense for me. I just didn't understand, and I felt the shame, rejection, so on and so forth. Then I realized, somewhat halfway, I realized, okay, so this mother lesson for me is to learn how to embrace the maternal aspect of this experience and within my entire being. So that alpha and omega wanted to experience that. And now I feel in full bloom about that. I've learned about the motherhood the motherhood wound, one, but that's not really what was the point. The wound is not the point. The point is to become your own maternal force, to become one with yourself. And it could be the same with a father. So you look at what mother and father represents to you, and then that's exactly what plays out. So if mother is love, care, looking after, all those qualities, and you're not seeing them, it's one of two roads. One is to make you acutely aware of those properties and ways of being, like being, I'm talking about, not attitude, but being. And then, so you can really understand the necessity for it. And then once you step past the pain of the lesson, because how else are you going to understand unless you're going through like some kind of contrast to what you believe today? So I went through that, and now I realize, wow, what a perfect mother that I had designed and collaborated in my imagination, the card that Jesus held up. I imagined this whole thing. And one could say, oh, wow, you're delusional. And I get that. I understand that. And these are very, very deep concepts of consciousness that I'm sharing with you today. So that created, and I feel good about that. Then, you look at your personal relationships. Perhaps you have a relationship with a partner that it's not going perfect. And I assure you that the characteristics that you're witnessing that cause you pain or distress are parts of you that you are unifying with. So they're showing up in the other person, whether it's insecurity, whether it's anger, whether it's fear, whether it's love, whether it's joy, whether it's passion, whether it's compassion. Those are all manifestations of the deep parts of you that create. Now, the imagination is very interesting because when you imagine things, it could happen consciously and unconsciously or subconsciously. And dreams are a really good illustrator of my point there. So when you have a dream, things are going wild, right? It depends on what kind of dreams that you have, but you can do things that you can't do in real life. You can fly, or things like that, but they are actually a manifestation of parts of you that can't act themselves out in your day-to-day life. So you are experiencing them outside of your body, astro traveling or whichever. So I just want you to know, to feel comfort and understand that the current identity that you think you are, the limitations that you have, the concerns you have, the struggles that you have are very temporary. They're there for you. I know you've heard this kind of stuff before, but there is a deeper level where it can sink to when you realize that everything that you see in front of you, I see a camera and I'm imagining you on the other end of it. It's not that, even though I am imagining and creating it, it still feels good. It still feels good to connect with you and to connect with parts of myself. There's a deeper type of love that you can experience when you love yourself. When you know that the characters that you've created and the day that you created and the year that you created is an accomplishment for you. Now, this was a super struggle the first couple of years. I was so angry because I had this knowledge and this wisdom, and I just couldn't integrate it at first. Super bad things were happening, like big events that I could happen to people, 1 in 100 or 1 in a million. These were happening to me, and I was like, no, this is not happening. Nope. Like my mind was being bent by these things that were happening. At the same time, there were a lot of synchronicities. And I was like, okay, synchronicities are hope, and they are giving you an insight to that this isn't what you think it is. Plus the dreams, of course. But so these big things happened, and I just wanted to run away. I just wanted to just peel my skin off and get out of here. I just was so turned inside out by these things that I couldn't even come to my channel. I didn't want to talk about it. I thought they were too personal, but they brought up deep aspects of myself, such as, I never considered myself to be a jealous person. I never have thought about that. But when the occasion came up to manifest it, wow, was it ever really big? And it happened in a very, I feel like I want to tell you all these things, but there's a tug of war happening for the privacy of the other people involved. So basically, it was a situation where what I thought for 25 years was different than what was. And when you hold a belief system for 25 years and you find out that it's different, it can really pull the rug from underneath you. I think that's a good illustration. So once I got around it, I started to become friends with it. I started to realize that that was a limiting part of myself, that this was holding me back, and that it was an opportunity I didn't have to embrace that character, but I could imagine them in a different light. I can imagine the best scenario. I could say thank you for coming into my life later on in my life and showing me that there's still room to grow and that I can weed out aspects within my being that I didn't even know existed that were propelling me. It reminds me of an email I got. It was so funny. No names. And I got a lot of really nice emails, 99%. But this one person's like, I'm super educated. Not only am I a writer, but I'm a theologian with qualifications, on and on. And they were saying, well, what you wrote is not true. You are not God. You are not a creator. Don't equate yourself to Jesus. That your Christ consciousness is not the same Christ consciousness as what Jesus is talking about. Don't put yourself in that light. And I thought, wow, I knew that was going to happen. And of course I projected it. But basically, it was offensive that I claimed my autonomy, but not just my autonomy, but my Christ consciousness. I realized that the Jesus I was talking to in my dream, I recognized it as an outside Jesus because I never claimed my creatorship. I never claimed my image of God, who I am, the reflection of God. I never claimed that I'm actually supposed to create and be in joy so that God can experience him herself. And it's ironic because when Jesus came in the story of history, the Pharisees and all of those religious beings of the day said, who do you think you are, Jesus? Don't say you're the Son of God. Pretty much he got killed for that. And it's ironic that today, if I say, I just figured it out. I figured out my identity, Alpha and Omega. Those are two words that I never would have made up or thought about. Clearly, my higher consciousness did. And my higher consciousness loved me so much and reached into me, into my kingdom, into my being, into my eternal spot and said, hey, Silvia, time to wake up. All this pain that you experienced, you don't need it. It's all, a story. You've imagined this and you can imagine a much better life. And I'm sharing that same message with you. You can create a much better life. And when you see obstacles in everyday scenes, think about me. So for about 2 or 3 years, knowing this and having personally experienced it, I still felt, oh my gosh, what is happening here? So when things show up, look at them and say, so why did I imagine this into being today? And remember that you are that being that always exists. And part of our, I want to say job, but that's not really the purpose of us is to first awaken to our identity as creator, not co-creator, creator, direct reflection. Christ consciousness told us that. I'm just going to read a question here. What's that passage Whatever you desire, believe you have received it, and you shall have it. Our imagination creates what we want. Right. So not only does our imagination create what we want, but that's actually our purpose, is to create and to bring the experiences back home to the unification of all characters that you've created, plus the image of God, which is us, and that whole energy. I'm going to take you to a dream I had where my dad shared with me when I was 27. And he said, Sylvia, besides the point, he said, stop crying because you're just crying for your own loss, on and on. The second dream I had, which was days later, he showed me a sun with all the rays. So the sun and the rays were connected. And he said, I've just gone back into the sun, Sylvia, and you are connected. You're one of the rays. We are still here. You are still here, but it's time for you now. That part of my consciousness that I had projected as my paternal aspect was teaching me. All along, I was being taught, but it never caught on until the Christ consciousness highest aspect of myself just said, hey, time to wake up. This is it. And probably because this experience will come to an end. Like I was shown with the ruler, the dots on the ruler, Jesus said, look, he was very frank with me. My higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing, Christ consciousness. They said, you think that you are your life. You think that is your life. This is it. Is it? She said, no, you are Alpha and Omega. And these dots are your experiences, and they have beginnings and end. In other words, the message was, don't take it so seriously. These are just experiences. And I took my life super serious. I took the hurts I had. Man, I was carrying around a sack of hurts. I was trying to resolve them in the best way I could. I just, honestly, I think that part of me was defeated. The joy was kind of extinguished. And I think many of you can relate to that. And I'm being very open with you because I've been very fortunate in many ways, but there were aspects within my being thinking, yeah, that's just never going to happen. That's over. Just like the person who wanted to have the child, or I always wanted to have a wonderful mother so that I could bathe in her love. And I realize now that pain was calling my maternal part. Ironically, and not so ironically, I had a fabulous relationship with my father. So, do you see, you are pulled towards the experience that's going to nourish your soul. And when you first experience the experience, you're like, this is pain, this is hurting me. And then it develops. And then you realize, I am whole now. There is nothing that can hurt me. And the love I feel. My mom's on my vision board. So let's switch gears here for a second. So just to clarify, you have a life and then you have experiences. What's happening right now is your experience. This is not your total being. As soon as this experience ends, you will be a fuller being. You will understand your entirety. When Jesus showed me, he showed me I am the universe, literally the planets, the stars. To wrap your head around the fact that you are planets, stars, galaxies, and everything, that's a big deal. No one ever talks about that. They say, oh yeah, the universe mirrors you, as though the universe is something different. Leave today knowing this. The universe is not different. The universe doesn't have your back. The universe is your back. The universe is you. It's your best friend. It's your consciousness. It's the Alpha and the Omega. It's the ever-renewing essence of you. If you ever forget how big you are, just think about that. And that's exactly what I said to Jesus. I said, I'm that big. I couldn't get it. I didn't understand. I just looked in the mirror at my house here and I see this. This is the experience. And what you see outside of the mirror is actually you. You are such a powerful manifester. You have no idea what you do. You're doing it consciously, you're doing it unconsciously, you're doing it beautifully, you're doing it technically, you're doing it lovingly. You are amazing. And I'm here to tell you, I understand who you are. I understand who I am, and I will never be the same. And when I wrote this book, I wrote it because I wanted to share, because it really helped me get over not knowing my identity. It brought me snap towards God. Like, I know I'm the image, the reflection. I know my purpose is to create in joy. I keep looking for places to discover joy. And when I see things that are in conflict, I think, oh, I really don't. I mean, it's probably a good idea for people to understand this so that they can project like a bigger consciousness and have a wonderful time in this existence. The way I see it right now in my consciousness, and I'm not going to blame anyone, the way I see it is that I'm reflecting unresolved conflict. And I definitely do take sides, for sure. I see that. I'm like, oh no, this is the right way, you know. And it was interesting because I was looking into history. I love history. And this has been playing out for centuries. This is nothing new. This is a conflict. I learned where my grandfather came from, and it wasn't where I thought. And I thought, oh no, he came from there? You know what I mean? Like, there's internal conflict about how I felt historically about different religions or things like that. Now I just understand that it's all a stepping stone to get you to where you want to go. I'm going to read a comment. We're all made of the same stardust, at least physically. But, well, look, and you always trigger great responses. You are the stardust, you are the planets, you are the reflection. You are not just made of it, you made it. You are the creator that creates what you see. To say that we're all one assumes that we're separate. Nothing is separate. Every single person you see, your husband, your grandchild, the person who cut you off, all those beings are reflecting you right now. This is why Jesus said, the higher consciousness, love others as you love yourself. Not because he was trying to be altruistic, not because he was trying to be goody-goody. It was because the consciousness was telling us, love everyone like you love yourself, because that's who they are. And when you are in conflict with external characters, that is a direct reflection of the conflict within yourself. Heady information, no separation, people who are totally against one politician and the other. I honestly, and please don't be upset by this, but I think it's funny because it's a direct reflection. Whose side are you on? Okay? No side. Both of them are your side. Both of them are aspects of your being. And if you truly want to see something different, you can just create it through your imagination because you are a creator. Nothing, not the sand, not the planet, not the clouds, not the nebulae, not the person. Nothing is separate from you. It is you. And when I didn't want to tell anybody this. Two reasons. One, it creates huge conflict in people's minds like it did in mine. Fair enough. And two, it could make you sound delusional. And that's not what I wanted. That wasn't the look I was going for. Now I don't mind because I realize all the characters are extensions of myself. So of course there's going to be some people that say, wow, this is delusional. Then there's going to be other characters that say, oh my God, I can grow from this. I can release this identity, which I thought was my life, but is actually an experience. And I am going to be experiencing things for an eternity. What I experience is dependent on my consciousness and where I want it to go. So your consciousness will drive you and create experiences for you to where you want to go. There is no other person telling you. And all the guides that I used to believe and talk about, those are all aspects of yourselves that have different evolutionary abilities to be able to come back to you, to speak to you, to do that. And all the psychicness, and please, I don't want to offend anyone, but all the psychicness that people think that they have is they're tapping in to different aspects of consciousness that are them. That's why they can read you, because They are you, an aspect of you that's speaking back to you. The mirror, the imagination, the alpha, the omega. So hopefully this message resonated with you. I do want to say that I'm going to share one more chapter of my book to my email list. If you want to be on my email list, I should have set it up earlier, but I'll put it in the description later. Or you can email me at support@silviaisachsen.com. Here, I'll write it. Support at. There we go. So I'm not going to write the .com because it won't show a link. So you can figure that out. Yeah, you can figure that out, okay? So I'm writing this book as part of my experience life work and to heal the characters within my experience and to unify because I'm ready to take it to the next level. I'm ready to take it to the next level. I want to create joy, harmony, and it's in my imagination already what I want. And I'm ready to take all the characters with me that want to come with me to this next level. And my book will be out in May. If you want to get it, you can get it. I don't recommend you get it if you don't want your life to completely change and kind of go upside down for a while. Pardon me. I'll drink some water. So yeah, don't get it if you don't want to change, like in a very, very significant way. And at some points of the change, I actually felt, yes, Newfie, you're right. I actually felt a little bit like, am I losing it here? Like this, when I think losing it, it's just that there's such novel concepts to grasp that in your head, you're like, oh God, okay, no, I can't think that way anymore because I'm more awake and I'm aware. So this awakeness isn't, oh, I'm more awake than you or you're more awake than me. This awakeness is you figure out you're everybody. You're all the characters and it's still okay. You don't have to feel lonely. You're that creative. You're that much of a creator. You are the creator. You can identify yourself with that and understand that the characters, they are entertaining and part of your experience. Hard to look at bad circumstances as entertaining, but if you can, wow. Okay, just wow. So I'm going to put the book out. I'm doing it as a life work. I am having an experience where this beginning has a beginning and an end. And I would love it if you want a huge transformation for you to get it. I don't have any links for it today. I will send you a link via email if you're on my email list. And next time I come on, I will as well. I'm going to read a couple of comments and then I'm going to head out. So the comments are fractals, as in our individual physical and spiritual bodies, all parts of the soul, but expressed as different characters. Yes. And guess what? Mindbender, you're not physical. It's like a dream within a dream. So even though you think you are physical, this body that you have is a manifestation of a vehicle in order for you to have this experience. There is no physical. I know, really hard. And when we feel ill, this will really help you before we go. When you are sick in what you imagine to be your body, the cells within your body are responding to an unconscious or conscious drive. And maybe that's something we should talk about next week. I want you to know I have massive compassion for anybody who is experiencing sickness, because regardless of whether it's in your imagination or not, and I say that loosely, it's happening. Everything that happens has been first seeded within the imagination and then experienced through your experience. So know this, you are not your experience, which we know as lifetimes. You are Alpha and Omega, and move through your day with that powerful notion of exactly who you are. Receive what you see as information for you to learn from, to grow from, and to expand on with your creation. Have a wonderful Saturday. I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday, 10 a.m. I will be emailing people in my email list. If you want to go on, it's support@silviaisachsen.com. I do not blame you if you don't know how to spell my name, but you can check out on my YouTube channel. Thank you. And I'll be sending chapter 3 tomorrow morning. Thanks. Let's see if I can remember how to end my stream. Bye-bye. Thank you. I appreciate. By the way, please like, subscribe, and comment below. If you comment below in addition to the chat, it helps this video circulate. Thank you.